I will say, don't worry, you all did not miss anything. So everybody will feel happy now. So you just missed the prayer and a few other things. All right. So then, then how can the subject and the object be one and the same? Never heard of this. Subject is subject, object is object. I cannot say I am pot. Pot belly I may have. So there may be some similarities there. But I can't say I am pot. Ghato aham. I cannot say that. And I cannot say I am a pot, I am a cat, I am hat, I am rat, I am mat. I cannot say that. Because obviously the I and the pot is very, very different. But here the Upanishad does some kind of a khichdi of what? Of the subject and the object. We have a dish in India. What is that called? Please come in. Who is it? Please come. It is open. So, it is open. It is open. I'm in the middle of Taittiriya Bhashya class. Yeah. Yes, yes. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. So, it is the how can something be subject and object? And to illustrate that, there is a dish in India. Khichdi is used too much. It's overused. Let me introduce you instead to the bhel puri. Okay, so it is crunchy, it is soft, it is hard, it is just all soggy, and then it is sweet, it is sour, it is spicy. How can it be all of this? And then there are certain chutneys you put around it. And then as a child, what I would love to do, forget eating it. That used to be later. I used to put the chutneys that they were given and I would keep it to my ear, keep the bowl to the ear. And then all these crackling sounds the puffed rice used to make. Very nice. Okay. So how can a dish be, it should be either spicy or it should be sweet or it should be salty, but it's all three at the same time. And how can a dish, it should be either soft or middle or hard, but it's all of it at the same time. How can it accomplish that? And similarly, Brahman, it is the subject, it is the object, it is that which bridges the subject and the object. What is that which bridges and the subject and the object? The means of knowledge. Bridges the subject and the object. And then how can it be all three things at the same time? There can be only one answer, one true answer. Because it is ultimately neither the subject nor the object nor the means of knowledge, nor that which bridges the subject and the object. This is brilliant. This is exactly what is going to be pointed out in the Bhashya. This is what we have to understand. Subject is me, object also non-separate from me, and that through which I know something as an object, that also is non-separate from me. But then it's all one way, as we have seen. I am separate from all of them. This is what it is. So then this subject object, if the truth of the subject and object is not known, then what happens? Then what happens is that there is a mix up in the head, and this mix up leads to samsara, leads to pain, leads to sorrow, leads to fear, leads to all kinds of second guessing about oneself, about the world, about Ishvara, about God. Everywhere there is confusion galore, and there is really bad confusion, because I am not able to discern this one fact. What? That the subject is me, I am not the subject. Subject is me. Subject is me means what? When do I call myself a subject? The word subject is also relational. When I'm relating to an object, then I call myself subject. But the truth is, I'm neither subject nor object. I am that blessing presence because of which subject is subject, because of which object is object. So the object also is existent and totally dependent upon the blessing presence. The subject is also likewise totally dependent upon the blessing presence. And who is the I? The I is neither the subject nor the object, nor the ways in which the subject and object may be connected. None of that. And so then this is what has to be understood. And for this understanding alone, we have built a huge scaffold. Like how when you build a building, you put a scaffolding around it. Huge thing. Sometimes the scaffold is bigger than the building. It has to be, because the workers have to climb on it, and then they have to, lay the bricks and the masonry and then the wires and all these things. And then they have to, and they use the scaffolding to do the, what is that called? The elevation. And then elevation means how it looks from the front, the building and the sides, etc. And then they use the scaffolding finally to paint the building, all these things. So therefore, this whole thing, the explanation around what is called creation mythology, the Pravesha Shruti, the methodology through which Brahman, quote unquote, entered all the objects in the creation, is a huge show. For who? For who? For the one who is yet to know. It's a huge show for the one who is yet to know. Why is this huge show required? Because without the presence of this show, then what happens? There is no comprehension. Just like without the scaffolding, there is no building. If you want to build something, you have to have something around it to be able to lay the bricks, etc. And as the building becomes taller and taller, the scaffolding also has to be made to be able to finish building it. So here also, the building blocks of this understanding that the subject and the object are both one, that the effect is non-separate from the cause. That's another way of putting the same reality. Effect is non-separate from the cause. The subject and the object are one and the same, because the source of both of them are what? Atma, Brahman, are one and the same. The source is the same, Brahmatma. So, therefore, what happens? Therefore, the sooner I see this, the better it is for me. And what is the scaffolding here? The entire creation mythology. So, kamayat bahusyam praja gegeti satapo tapyat satapastaptva idagam sarvam asrijat yadidham kincha tat srishtva tadevanupravishat tadanupravishya satchatyaccha bhavat. This is the scaffolding. You think this is the building. No, this is the scaffolding. This is what is around the building. And what is the building here? What is the building? Sthaniya. So the building is the example. So the scaffolding is also the example. So what is that which is exemplified? So what is the building? The building is that there is no subject, no object. Both are what? A dependent reality called mithya. And we know that mithya enjoys the ability to always be very close to satyam. Yatra yatra mithya, tatra tatra satyam. Where, to put it in English, to put it in proper Indian English, where there is mithya, there is what? Satyam. Oh, I got it. What did you get? Wherever there is Satyam, there is Mithya. No, wrong. Big zero. Okay? Don't answer this in the Vedanta quiz if there is one. Wherever there is Mithya, there is Satyam. You cannot say wherever there is Satyam, there is Mithya. You cannot say that. Why? Because as I told you, there is always one way in Vedanta. It always goes one way. And like this, even in the world, there are many examples. Just because two things coexist does not mean one is the cause of the other, or that because there is one, there is another, and then because it doesn't mean that it goes the other way also. This is the methodology called Anvaya Vyatireka. Anvaya means the invariable presence is understood after examining the Vyatireka, examining all things non-invariable. After examining everything non-invariable, we come to that invariable presence. And what is so beautiful is that the non-invariable also becomes invariable by proxy. What do you mean by proxy? The presence of Brahman makes the non-invariable shine as though it is invariable, makes the variable as though become invariable. And what perishes alone is Nama Rupa, but the invariable is the truth of it, is the prop that keeps all the Nama Rupas going, keeps all the Nama Rupas in play, in place. This is what we have to see. This is where all the Bhashya is going to go. And so, so we have covered quite a bit of ground here. And then so we saw how that first we saw the shadow example, then we saw the light example. What is the light example? Just like the light of the sun is reflected in the pot, so then it can become an object to the eyes. The light of Atma is there. Is there in everything in the universe, lights up everything in the universe. So we saw the light example. So then we see that one more thing there is to see. What is that thing? The question of what is qualifying what. Supposing I say Brid Vishishta Ghataha. A ghata, a pot that is conditioned by clay. So here clay becomes what? Adjectival relationship. The clay is in adjectival relationship to the pot. So it's a clay pot. So clay pot, clay lamp, clay toy, children's toys made of clay. And then clay Krishna figurine. We can go on and on. But then Shvetaketu is told in the Chandogya Upanishad, Shvetaketu is told what? Ekena mritpindena sarvam mridmayam vijnatam syat. By the examining of one lump of clay, the whole clay world is as good as known, as well as known. Why do you keep saying as good as well as? Because this is the exemplified, and then when we come to the example, we can see that it is not possible to know the whole universe, one thing by another discrete thing, one discrete thing at a time. It is not possible to know the whole universe. So what do you know? You as though know the entire universe because you know the source. It's like the secret ingredient. Today only food examples are coming, what to do. So it's the secret ingredient in what is that? Oh, there is that recipe which is kept under lock and key. It is kept in a safe somewhere. Nobody knows where, except maybe a few people. And they keep changing the place so that it is not hacked. and it is not stolen, because the livelihood of many people and the profits for the 1% of that company depends upon the secrecy of that recipe. What are we talking about? Coca-Cola. So the Coca-Cola recipe is somewhere buried in a safe so that nobody knows. So it is like that, jealously guarded and fiercely guarded recipe. So this Brahman is hidden because the truth of it is not known. Once you know the secret recipe, then Coca-Cola becomes what? Uninteresting. Yet one more drink on the market. Oh, how did, let's say it had some, what is that, fennel seeds in it. Oh, it's made of fennel seeds. No, what's the big deal? I don't even like it anymore, people will say. And so therefore, here, that's why it is called Guha Nihitam, because it is in a place which is difficult to access. This knowledge is difficult to access without grace of God, Guru, etc. Difficult to access knowledge. And so, therefore, here we make the mistake. Because this knowledge is difficult to access, we make the mistake of thinking each thing is discrete. Mistake number one. And what is mistake number two? Mistake number two is thinking that pot is the clay is an adjective to pot. This is our thinking. Gold is an adjective to chain. Golden chain. Clay pot. But really speaking, between clay and pot, in relation to clay and pot, which is variable and which is invariable? Is pot invariable? No. Pot is variable. Today pot, tomorrow crackpot. Day after tomorrow powder pot. So no pot. Fourth day, no pot. Crackpot, broken pot, no pot. But then, what is the invariable presence? Clay. Clay, 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 all the way. Pot is clay, crackpot is clay, broken pot is clay, powdered pot is clay, molecules are clay, everything is clay. So really, what is variable? Pot is variable. Clay is the substantive. But we make the mistake of flipping the switch. And as a result, the problem here is immediately samsara attack. Samsara attacks. As soon as you flip the switch, what happens? Samsara attacks. Why does samsara attacks? Because everything becomes real. If you just had to deal with one reality, it is easy, because that reality happens to be you, happens to be whole, happens to be wholesome, happens to be free, happens to be beyond time and place. And so it is of the nature of happiness. But if you have to deal with each and everything as though it is equally real, then this is a recipe, speaking of recipe, for crazy making. So therefore, pot is clay, clay is not pot. That much we know. Now the other one we should see, the second thing to see here is that we can no longer say with a straight face, clay pot. Golden bangle. In gold and bangle, which is invariable? Gold is invariable. Today bangle, tomorrow all what? Tomorrow back to gold. Day after tomorrow it came in the form of chain, like this. And 2 days after tomorrow it came in the form of some other jewelry. So therefore, the bangle, the chain, they are all variable. Gold, in relation to this example, is invariable. It has the invariable presence. So then what? Then now it becomes very simple. We can no longer be Vedantins and call this a golden bangle. What should we do? We should say bangly gold, chainy gold. ringy gold. This is how to talk. Of course, only amongst ourselves. If you talk like this in public, I think, you will stop being invited to parties and you'll stop having friends. All right. So, because already people suspect that you are weird for studying Vedanta so much, then now if you talk, say, how is your ringy gold doing today? Did you find the ringy gold that you had lost? If you go talking like this, their suspicions will be nothing but confirmed and reconfirmed. And so therefore, this is a inside job. It's all an inside job. It's really, really wonderful. It's an inside job because cognitively I can enjoy the bangle because I know it is bangly gold. Because that awareness is there. There is a slight cognitive shift. I don't have to show off this knowledge to people. Notice that even though I said bangly gold, ringy gold, chainy gold, I did not say potty clay because that would be a very funny expression. Okay. And so it would just be distracting. So when you teach, keep the keep the example squarely in the gold realm. Then one will be safe. So here, this is a very funny thing. Now, bangle, ring, chain, all these are what? These are all various iterations of gold, and these iterations have come from gold, go back to gold, are sustained by gold, and then what? The gold is not any of them. Even though it sustains all of these names and forms, it cannot be any one of them precisely because it sustains all of them. So this is the inner turmoil. Without the inner turmoil is caused. The turmoil of samsara is due to this non-understanding or the wrong understanding. We put the pot on the pedestal, forget all about clay. You miss the clay, even though even though the pot is nothing but clay. Saint Kabir sums it up very well in one of his couplets. What does he say? He says the following. He says, Lehri dhoonde leher ko. A sad little wave is looking for the ocean. Ocean, where are you? Ocean, give me darshan. This is the prayer of the wave. And we laugh, we say, what a silly wave. Lehri dhoonde leher ko, kapada dhoonde soot. Then on dry land, this was on the ocean, on dry land, what's its name? The kapada means what? Fabric. The fabric is looking for sooth. Sooth means yarn. Elsewhere, the fabric is looking for the yarn. Oh yarn, where are you? Oh yarn, you are Bhagavan. Where are you? Bless me, take care of me. Won't you look at me? Won't you please make eye contact with me? This is what the yarn is being searched for by the fabric. Lehri dhoonde leher ko, kapda dhoonde soot. Then finally what? Jiva dhoonde brahma ko. The jiva likewise is looking for Brahman. You, where are you? Who are you? Give me darshan. Luka chipi mat khelo. Don't play hide and seek with me. Don't play hide and seek with me, oh Krishna, oh Rama, whatever Ishtadevatas, 333 Ishtadevatas you can bring in, no problem. 333 crore. Crore means what? 10 million is 1 crore. You can do the math. So 333 crore devatas are there. So any or all of them you can direct this prayer. Where are you? Give me darshan. Give me blessings. And now we have stopped laughing. We had a nice laugh when the poor wave was looking for an ocean. We said, oh, silly little wave. And we could not but help smiling at imagining how the cloth was looking for the yarn. But then, when the jiva searches for Brahman, it is elevated to the level of a spiritual quest. It's no longer silly. It's no longer, it's no longer laughable. But it is okay. It is fine to be, for it to be elevated to the spirit level of the spiritual quest, because at least the beginning point is somewhere. But as futile as it is an act for the cloth, the fabric, to be looking for the yarn, and as futile as it is for the wave to search for darshan of the ocean, similarly, the jiva not being separate from Brahman is still looking for Brahman. Where? In the glitter and the bling of the objects, without knowing that this bling is what? This bling is just the name and form. In fact, what makes this bling shine? The bling shines in borrowed light of Atma. Therefore, the inner quest. Therefore, this the Brahman is to be understood as located in the heart. Buddhi, heart, manaha, everything one and the same. So Brahman is located, as it were, located within heavy quotes, as though has entered the heart. And we can say it is available in the heart as I. Because there is the buddhi, a very, very fine-tuned instrument which can discern the presence of the I as sakshi. This is so this is exactly how to understand this. So, and the example that was given in the beginning was that guha nihitam. Guha nihitam means sitting in the cave. There is one cave here, Vasishta Gufa. Vasishta Guha, where Vasishta is said to have meditated. Later on, it was taken over taken over means not really taken over. It was being used frequently by a Swami there. Some Swami used to just come and meditate. Anybody can go and sit and meditate. But of course, there are hours, visiting hours and everything, because there is a trust that is maintaining the trust is maintaining the structure and everything, and keeping it clean, keeping the surroundings clean and all that. But there was no problem with the Swami going and meditating. The Swami became very famous as what? Guha Wala Swami, the Swami that is in the cave. So much so that when he met people outside the cave, when people met him, they would not recognize him. And he would say, I am the same Swami. My name is Purushottamananda. I am the same Swami that you met back there in the cave. No, no, Swamiji, you don't look nice outside. Please go back in the cave. I want to have darshan only in the cave. Crazy people. So they would send him back to the cave, even though he said, I'm sick of being in the cave for today. I have done enough cave vasa, meaning living in the cave. So today I'm coming out for some fresh air and to be with you all. They would just not even think that it was the same person. So similarly here, this Brahman is just like they told the Swami, you please go sit in the cave, we'll come and have darshan there. If you come and outside, you will become too common and we won't be able to recognize you and enjoy you, and the specialness goes away. Please, back you go into the cave. I like you in the cave. So similarly, Brahman is best recognized in the cave of the heart. It is Ananda. This Ananda not Purushottamananda, the Swami, but this Ananda, which is myself, is best recognized in the heart because that's the correct upadhi. Why? Tatraiva upalabhyate. It is there only. There's no other meaning you can give. No other meaning. And I really rack my brains and think, even though there are these such clear passages in the Upanishad, how does somebody come and then interpret it saying, you are different, God is different, and then the world is different? That is my capital. I already think they are different, and that is why I grieve. So, but here, this, because of Vedic hermeneutics, all this is possible. So then there are different interpretations. Anyhow, that was a little digression. So then, having created the whole universe, then this Brahman is available in the heart. The heart, which is like a guha, a secret place. And what is the best secret place? The best secret place is where you are the least likely to look. That is the best secret place, as is illustrated in Pujya Swamiji's story of the two travelers on the train. Overnight train, 3-day train from Rameshwaram to Rishikesh. So from Rameshwaram to Rishikesh, it takes 2.5, 3 days to go by train. And then these two fellows were there sleeping in the opposite compartments. Other fellows were also there. And then every night, person A, what would he do? He would just count his money, wads and wads of notes, count his cash, make sure it was make sure it was whatever the amount was. And the other fellow, his compartment mate, was looking very greedily. How can I give him instant vairagya? And how can all this be mine? I want to know how to be all this be mine. He said, I'm going to watch him carefully. Even though he was watched all the time, still nothing would happen. The next morning, he would just bring out the money somehow miraculously and count it to make sure it was okay. When he went to the bathroom, the thief, wannabe thief, went into his pockets because he had put his night clothes there. And then he went into the pockets of the pajamas. He went into the shirt pocket. He ransacked the fellow's entire suitcase. He ransacked under his bed, where his pillow and bedding were. Not a single rupee came out. 2 nights went like this. Third night also went like this. Then the thief got very frustrated. So again, in the last morning, when they announced that the station that they have to get off, Haridwar, to go to Rishikesh is only coming in 15 minutes. Come on, please pack up, get ready, everybody. So the thief wannabe says, I give up. You please tell me how you did it, because whenever you went to the bathroom, I ransacked this whole side of your compartment. I could not find a single rupee. How did you travel with a experienced thief like me? And then how could I not get my hands on this money? You must be greater than me. Please teach me what you did. How did you safeguard your money from me? He said, it's very simple. I put it in your pocket. Because that's the last place you will look. And similarly here, this is in this pocket. This is the last place we look. That's why it is called Guha. Everywhere, where is Bhagavan? Where is Bhagavan? Oh, some people look up also, and then they have to go to the chiropractor, because then you develop a neck ache from too much looking up, as though Bhagavan is sitting somewhere in the sky. So you look up, you look down, you look here, you look there, you look outside, you look at this, you look at that. You make yourself sick going to temples, this temple, that temple, this here, there, everywhere. Nothing happens. Why? Because right here is the temple. Right here is the temple. In between the two temples is the temple. Buddhau nihitatvat. And this This guha has to be understood as the quote-unquote location, as though location. Location means what? Upalabdhisthanam eva, we saw that yesterday. Upalabdhisthanam, that is the location. Upalabdhisthanam means that's where the place of recognition is indeed the place of location. You cannot have a location because it is limitless, besides it doesn't have a form. How can the formless have a location? It is not possible at all. And so therefore this is the um, understanding. This is where it is this guha nihitatvam yuktam means it is proper to say that it is sitting in the guha without making the guha, the cave, a location. Further, it says, Vrittisthaniyetu iha punaha tat srishtva tadeva anupravishat iti uchyate. Vrittisthaniye means, vritti means the thought forms. So, vritti here, the thought forms, and then so this is not a repetition here. So the guha nidhi tattvam was already told. So why is it told again? There is no repetition. This is the mantra being explained, vyakhya. This vyakhya means this explanation of the mantra is there, meaning this is the method of making you see that Brahman is Atma. Brahman is Satyam Jnanam Anantam, and it is recognized in the buddhi, not anywhere else. Although the Brahman is the cause for everything, it is still recognized in the buddhi, and everything else is also recognized where? In the buddhi alone. Everything else is recognized in the buddhi. Brahman is also recognized in the buddhi. Everything happens to be Brahman. So all that there is Brahman alone. So whatever you think of is Brahman. Whatever you see is Brahman. If you think of space, space is you are thinking of Brahman. Problem is, thinker is also Brahman. So therefore the confusion. Space is Brahman, thinker of space is Brahman, time is Brahman, the one who says time is Brahman is Brahman. And then so the jnata, knower is Brahman. Jnanam, the means of knowledge is Brahman. Jnayam, that which is to be known is also Brahman. Everywhere Brahman, Brahman, Brahman it is. Namarupa, Namarupa, Karya, Karya, Karya. And then that is the Visheshana. Karya is variable. Effect is variable. Cause is invariable. And that cause resolves. Because when there is no effect, the cause is a relational term. So cause and effect are relational. And so the effect resolves into cause. The cause also resolves to the truth of the cause, which is the invariable presence called Brahman. So Vrittisthaniya means in this Vakya, what is that place? That place is in the form of Vritti. You know, what is that? Having created, the vritti means here the teaching. What is the teaching? Tat srishtva tadeva anupravishat. Tadeva srishtam. So this antakaranam eva anupravishat. It has entered this heart. It has as though entered the heart. That's what it means. Tadevam akashadikaranam karyam srishtva tad anupravishat. तद् अनुप्रविष्टम् इव अन्तर्गुहायां बुद्धौ द्रष्टृ श्रोतृ मन्त्र विज्ञातृत्येवं विशेषवत् उपलभ्यते तदेव तस्य प्रवेशः and then tasmad asti tat karanam brahma. Beautiful. Tadevam, this Brahman alone. Which Brahman? Hello, the one that is under discussion. Which other Brahman shall we bring in? There is only one anyway. So this Brahman that we are talking about, what happens? Akashadi karanam karyam srishtva. It is Akashadi karanam. It is the cause of the whole universe beginning with Akasha. Karyam Srishtva, having created all the created within heavy quotes, all the effects, what did it do? Tad anupravishtam. It as though entered. Entered what? Every single aspect of creation, and also it entered every single aspect of the thinker, the knower, etc. It entered the universe outside this body mind sense complex. It entered even into this body mind sense complex, because the body mind sense complex happens to be part of the universe, what I call outside, being made up of what? 5 elements. So there is no inner outer. Only from the standpoint of this body mind sense complex I can get away by saying inner and outer. So it entered the buddhi, quote unquote, entered the buddhi how? Drashtr, in the form of the seer. Seer is Brahman, Brahman is not the seer. Shrotr, the hearer. Mantra, thinker. Vijnatr, knower, etc. Iti evam. So wherever there is the presence of the thinker, there is the presence of Brahman. Even when I'm thinking of sad thoughts, especially when you're thinking of sad thoughts, wherever there is the seer, Brahman is not far away. Wherever thinker is there, Brahman is not far away. Thinker is mithya. The content of the thinker, that which keeps the thinker going as an entity, is what? Brahman. So therefore, Visheshavat upalabhyate. It is Visheshavan. This Atma is Visheshavan, as it were. So it looks like it has all these qualifications, even though it is, uh, it is free of rupa, free of nama. Still, in every nama rupa, I can recognize it. This has to be understood as the entry. Tadeva tasya praveshaha. Tasmad asti tat karanam brahma. Therefore, the Brahman under discussion has not disappeared. It is very much here and very much needs to be known, needs to be understood. So we'll stop here. I have a little bit of work that is pending, so I have to go do that. So we'll stop 5 minutes early today. And then day after tomorrow, I think we have Gita class at night, whatever time it is. Here it is at 6:30 in the morning. And did the time change in America already?
Yes.
Yes, today it changed. Okay.
Today it changed.
So that's why I hesitate to say what time it is. Wherever you are, whatever time it is, you please find out. India time will be 6:30 a.m. All right? Yeah. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. That's it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Om
Thank you
Swami
so much.
Hari Om.